Now at 9, residents in northeast Oklahoma pick up the pieces after severe storms tear through Wednesday night.
Guided tours in Fort Scott hope to shine some light on some scary history. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
And we look into the fascination behind ghost stories.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Heavy storms ripped through northeast Oklahoma overnight. The winds so powerful they tore roofs off of homes and scattered belongings across neighborhoods. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Lonnie Walton traveled to Fairland, Oklahoma and spoke with residents about their experience.
Hurried up and got out of the closet and just stood there, and I just prayed.
Mandy Williams and her husband are one of the many families recounting the moment they thought their lives were over.
Heard all kinds of loud noises, and I could see outside when I was in the closet.
Kiana Lawson, mother of 4, says everyone was in bed when she got the alerts on her phone. That's when she woke up her husband.
My husband, he got up and, of course, you know, in Oklahoma fashion, goes outside to check on things. And he could hear it coming and ran back in and said, "Come on, take cover."
The storm carried not only the little things, but the big ones too.
As soon as it was over, we went outside and I said, "Where's the trailer?" I didn't expect to see the damage that we saw.
One thing's for sure for both Lawson and Williams, it spared what matters most, their families.
Grateful, very thankful. The Lord had his hand keeping us safe.
Reporting in Fairland, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Both Lawson and Williams say the people of the community, along with their families, will help them rebuild their foundations. Well, areas of Miami were left in the dark as a result of the storm last night. Northeast Electric worked to restore power and internet to the residents. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has the latest.
All in a line. It was a domino effect. When one went, then they all started going.
Along Highway 137 in Miami, 17 poles snapped and were laying on the ground after the storms Wednesday night.
When we got here, all the poles were laying on the ground, the wires laying everywhere, and so we had to shut the road. This Highway 137, we had to shut it completely down.
The broken poles and wires cut power and internet connection in the neighborhoods near 110 Road and 130 Road. When Northeast Electric Cooperative got the call for a power outage, they quickly had boots on the ground to restore power. And crews worked to restore internet Thursday morning.
They got out here and got all the poles set back up, or new poles put in the ground, got all the wire back up and got the electric back on.
Superintendent Les Kirkwood says the broken poles not only affect electricity, but are a safety concern.
It could be a hazard. I mean, you don't want nobody, just the public coming up and touching the wires in case they're still hot.
Kirkwood says one of his many concerns during a power outage is people who rely on electricity for their medical needs. He says this is why they make it a priority to get the electricity back as fast as possible.
To get out there and get the electric back up to provide, service. I mean, we've got a lot of people out there that's on oxygen and everything else, so it's very important.
Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Well, Northeast Oklahoma Electric Cooperative began receiving calls concerning power outages around 10 p.m. last night. Definitely was a wild night. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, it's definitely turned out to be a much calmer day for us today on this Halloween, and temperatures for a change, especially this week, below average. 63 was our high, average high 65. 2/10 of an inch of rain today. That was since midnight, but we got about 1.5 inches of rain on average across the region last night. 52 in Joplin, Pittsburgh sitting at 48 degrees, so temperatures are cooling down, mainly upper 40s to lower 50s. Kind of chilly tonight. We're going to go all the way back down into lower 40s later on tonight. Clear skies sticking around, of course. It's going to be a chilly rest of your Halloween. And then as we go into Friday, it looks pretty good. It's going to be mild. We're going to see sunshine. Showers increase Saturday. Thunderstorms back in on Sunday and Monday. We'll have those details for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. The Joplin Police Department gets a life-saving donation today. 7 chaplains who provide their services for the JPD will receive bulletproof vests. The vests were identified as a need for the volunteer team who put out the call for donations. An anonymous private charitable gift made the vest possible.
I've wanted it for several years, that's true. In the environment we find ourselves living in today, I think demands that we protect ourselves better. And again, it's not always difficult calls, but some can be. And so this is just a level up of protection for us.
The chaplains who share on-call 24/7 duties for the department provide services such as counseling, death notifications, disaster response, and more. Well, telling scary stories is a Halloween tradition for many people, and the Fort Scott National Historic Site is taking part by hosting Murder and Mayhem at the fort. The event aims to tell some of the more disturbing stories from the fort's history. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
We love to get dressed up, so this is an opportunity for us to get in historic clothing and share some of the stories, but not the normal stories we share.
The Fort Scott National Historic Site dates back to the 1840s, and with that long history comes a lot of stories. The historic site is using the scary season to guide visitors through history by the light of lanterns.
These are very important stories. They are not the ghost stories or dramatic stories, but the history of this part of the country was a scary time in the mid-1800s.
Guides in period wear are telling some of the darker but true stories from the fort's Civil War history. From tragic accidents and murder between soldiers to the violence associated with Bleeding Kansas.
We're looking at some of the sadder stories, but we have to learn from history. And if we don't learn what brought these kind of situations on, we'll repeat them.
Park staff say the Halloween season is the perfect time for these tours because sometimes the most scary story you can tell is the reality of history.
This is not just a bunch of old buildings. This is the story of America. This is their history. This is the trials and tribulations that people went through trying to help keep us free, trying to help make our country great.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, tonight's tours were free and open to the public, and you can learn more about future events at the historic site on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, October marks a Learning Disabilities Awareness Month, and we look at how dyslexia affects more than just reading and writing. And later, hundreds of elementary school students in Southwest Missouri get to show off their Halloween spirit. October is Learning Disabilities and Dyslexia Awareness Month, and for many people without dyslexia, reading it may be a breeze. But imagine looking at a book, street sign, or a text message and have trouble deciphering what it says. Besides making everyday life more difficult, it can trigger more adverse effects for folks later on in life. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten reports.
While reading can open the doors to life's possibilities, difficulties comprehending written language can slam them shut.
Not being able to read can impact a student academically, socially, emotionally.
With October marking Learning Disabilities and Dyslexia Awareness Month, doctors say it's critical the public shows support to affected individuals.
Dyslexia is a language-based reading disorder where individuals have very specific difficulties with reading and writing. Those include spelling, they include word recognition or decoding.
Dyslexia is the most common type of learning disability.
Currently, the data shows that 15 to 20% of the population exhibit some difficulties with reading. So they may be exhibiting some characteristics of dyslexia, whether they have a diagnosis or not. And that is 1 in 5.
According to medical professionals at the Cleveland Clinic, signs and symptoms of dyslexia in children can include trouble spelling simple words, issues with telling certain letters with similar shapes apart, being fearful to read aloud, and more.
The earlier one gets the support they need, the better chances they have of overcoming their difficulties.
But some educational experts say many schools lack enough resources to provide students with the help they need.
When we look at the results from the National Assessment of Educational Progress, we can see that 34% of children in 4th grade are reading at a below basic level.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Researchers say they found the sweet spot for when it's safe to have surgery when recovering from a heart attack. A study by the University of Rochester found people 67 and older should delay any elective surgeries for 3 to 6 months after they've had a heart attack. And those months of recovery can drastically lower the risk of life-threatening complications. Well, women who go through menopause later in life are at greater risk for developing asthma. A study published in the journal Menopause found an increase in asthma cases among women who went through menopause at age 51 and older. While the reason is not clear, multiple studies have suggested there's a link between asthma and sex hormones. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later Pitt State basketball previews its upcoming season. John Dales has that and much more in sports.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a much calmer day for us today. Temperature is quite a bit cooler as well, actually a smidge below where we should be for this time of the year. And we don't have the winds. It was so windy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Much better for us today. Great shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. Of course, we are looking downtown Joplin. Look at our temps. 50 in Carthage, Anderson, 52 in Bentonville. Let's go 50 in Veneta, 47 in Parsons. We have 49 in Iola. Outside, 7th and Range Line, currently sitting at 50. Winds are calm. It's going to be chilly tonight, but at least we don't have the wind, making it feel a little bit colder. Clear skies. We're going to stick with the clear skies. In fact, the entire Central Plains looking good after the storm system that rolled through yesterday. But already, here's our next system loading up in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, this is our upper level flow or storm energy. Where's the energy? Here comes this system. So this is Sunday. Look at the moisture out ahead of it. This system is going to tick right on by just to our north on Monday, and then we do it again. We load right back up. Another storm system drops in, which will affect us the second half of next week. So we're going to stay in this wetter pattern as we go through about the next 10 days or so. All right, chilly start tomorrow, lower 40s, plenty of sunshine. We get into lower 60s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, a few mid and upper level clouds. 72 in Anderson, Veneta 73, 67 in Chanute, Stockton up to about 68. As we go through the evening and the overnight hours on Friday, clouds thicken up. Couple little showers to our west by Saturday morning. Mostly cloudy skies on Saturday, rain increasing to our west. I think a good chunk of our day is going to be dry, but scattered showers and thunderstorms will increase definitely by Saturday evening and Saturday night. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg of our next storm system. All right, so first off, let's look at our day planner. 44 to start, 62 by noon, high of 70. Let's go into 4-state Friday night high school football, 65 by kickoff, 60 by the fourth quarter. So pretty good weather once again for high school football. And at least we're going to be dry because those rain chances increase late Saturday, Saturday night, and really pick up once we get into Sunday. Periods of showers and thunderstorms. I think because of the clouds and the rain, we're going to be stable enough not to see anything severe. Anything severe should stay down near Oklahoma City. However, on Monday, as the main front moves in, if we can clear out a bit, strong to severe thunderstorms by Monday afternoon. And check this out. Look at our potential rainfall as we go through this next storm system. A lot of areas could pick up 4, 5, 6, maybe isolated 7-inch amounts. All right, 70 on Friday, 68 Saturday, 69 Sunday. Don't forget the clocks drop back 1 hour Saturday night and thunderstorms on Monday. Tanya?
Well, nothing says Halloween fun like hundreds of elementary school kids dressed in their holiday best costumes. Students from the Anderson Elementary School in Anderson, Missouri got to show off their Halloween costumes in a parade today around the Town Hall Park. And local businesses turned out to celebrate the kiddos in all their silly, spooky, and creative costumes by handing out candy.
This is just such a great time for our kiddos. There's not a worry in the world. They come to school in the morning with their costumes on, ready to go. They get to walk all the way down to the Treasure Town Hall and get bags full of candy and use their manners and see other adults dressed up and having just as much fun as they are.
About 600 students turned out for the parade. Well, many people spent today trying to find their last-minute Halloween costumes, and some businesses in our area even offered special deals and discounts for those trying to find the perfect fit. KOAM's Anthony Saviello shows us more about what one store in our area experienced.
It's a spooky time of year, and getting your costume together at the last minute can make it even scarier.
We have a lot of stuff. We have costumes, accessories, we have dog costumes, foggers, you name it, makeup, we have it.
With so many options, from superheroes to a play on words to whatever that is.
A lot of Marvel, Avengers for the young men, women, a lot of witches.
Other top costumes this year include Bob from Beetlejuice, Deadpool and Wolverine, and the Minions. And the numbers don't lie. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans are projected to spend $11.6 billion this year on Halloween. But shopping last minute could be a good way to find some deals.
Everything in the stores, buy one, get one free, which is a great deal. Yeah. A lot of last minute, people looking for stuff.
So whether you're procrastinating or just trying to find the perfect piece to that Halloween costume, Halloween Day is the last chance for you to get it done. And at the end of the day, if you just can't find anything, well then, a pair of vampire teeth may work. In Pittsburgh, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Alrighty then, Anthony. We'll talk about getting into the Halloween spirit. Jay Olson has created an elaborate display in front of his house on East 6th Street in Baxter Springs for more than 30 years now. Olson says he works throughout the year on decorations, and most of his displays are handmade. And he always expects a lot of trick-or-treaters.
Folks lined up from one side down the next, hay rides. The parents in this town, that there's a lot of people that have grown up through here and this has kind of been a tradition for them. So they'll come, and then when they got little ones that are too scared and it's after dark, they let us terrorize them in their own cars, right? They let us, play. I got a bunch of good parents. It's fun. The community's good, so it makes a lot of fun.
Well, if you'd like to check out some Halloween hotspots, we have a full list of decorated houses on our website. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, today marks the final day of International Bat Week, and we learn more about the flying creatures of the night after the break. What better way to end the spooky season than with the end of Bat Week? International Bat Week ran from last Thursday through today. Now, the annual observance raises awareness about the need for bat conservation, as well as their role in the natural world and economy.
One bat can eat up to 3,000 insects in a night. Now, part of these are mosquitoes, but also part of these are moths, which produce caterpillars, which in the next spring or summer can be pests for ag crops and gardens. And that's where the real benefit of bats come in.
In Missouri alone, more than 12 species of bats can be found. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. It's Halloween on the campaign trail, and both presidential candidates are heading west, haunted by polls showing they continue to be neck and neck. Plus, a high-level meeting at the State Department with the Defense Secretary, the Secretary of State, and their South Korean counterparts shows just how seriously the two nations are taking the recent Russian-North Korean alliance against Ukraine.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. With just a few days until Election Day, both Trump and Harris head west and try to seize on comments made by both sides. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the latest.
Former President Trump took his campaign to deep blue Albuquerque, New Mexico, speaking about the issues you might expect, like the economy and immigration.
With your vote in this election, I will end inflation. I will stop the massive invasion of criminals into your state, and I will bring back the American dream.
It's been almost a week of both campaigns going back and forth over who called who garbage. Now, some of Trump's comments in Wisconsin are drawing new criticism.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them.
The former president used examples of migrants and foreign countries as threats. Vice President Harris claims it's part of an inappropriate pattern.
Listen, it actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority, their right, and their ability to make decisions about their own lives, including their own bodies.
But whether or not the back and forth comments will impact the election remains to be seen.
You can call me deplorable, call me garbage, call me whatever you want, but if the economy gets better, our borders get secure, that I don't care what you call me.
Harris is still hoping to cut through the noise over the next few days.
I am putting it all on the field, and it's going to be a very tight race.
Both candidates will be in the swing state of Arizona today. Fox News polls show Trump with a lead there. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, North Korea test fires a long-range ballistic missile that could one day threaten the United States. Now, this muscle flexing comes just days before the U.S. election, and it comes as thousands of North Korean troops are inching their way towards Ukraine to fight Putin's war. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Washington.
North Korean troops are given Russian uniforms and gear before being sent to the front lines in Ukraine. The U.S. and other allies are prepared for them to join the fighting soon.
One of the reasons that Russia is turning to these North Korean troops is that it's desperate.
The Defense Department estimates around 10,000 North Korean soldiers are in Russia. If they cross into Ukraine, the Pentagon says it will lift restrictions on Ukraine's use of American weapons to fire on North Korean forces.
Make no mistake. If these North Korean troops engage in combat or combat support operations against Ukraine, they would make themselves legitimate military targets.
The troop movements are just one of several escalatory moves recently made by North Korea. The state's media reported Kim Jong-un ordered a test launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile Wednesday night. It reportedly reached an altitude over 4,000 miles. Meaning this type of long-range missile could reach the United States. It's the first launch of an ICBM since last December, and the timing just days before the U.S. election can't go unnoticed.
We call upon the DPRK to cease and desist.
The Pentagon says at this point there was no indication that Russia was involved in North Korea's missile launch. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Now, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later it's Halloween and fans of fear continue to seek out different types of frights. We take you to an infamous house in Massachusetts that was the site of a double murder.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a much calmer day for us today. Temperature is quite a bit cooler as well, actually a smidge below where we should be for this time of the year. And we don't have the winds. It was so windy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Much better for us today. Great shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. Of course, we are looking downtown Joplin. Look at our temps. 50 in Carthage, Anderson, 52 in Bentonville. Let's go 50 in Bonita, 47 in Parsons. We have 49 in Iola. Outside, 7th and Range Line, currently sitting at 50. Winds are calm. It's going to be chilly tonight, but at least we don't have the wind, making it feel a little bit colder. Clear skies. We're going to stick with the clear skies. In fact, the entire Central Plains looking good after the storm system that rolled through yesterday. But already, here's our next system loading up in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, this is our upper level flow or storm energy. Where's the energy? Here comes this system. So this is Sunday. Look at the moisture out ahead of it. This system is going to tick right on by just to our north on Monday, and then we do it again. We load right back up. Another storm system drops in, which will affect us the second half of next week. So we're going to stay in this wetter pattern as we go through about the next 10 days or so. All right, chilly start tomorrow, lower 40s, plenty of sunshine. We get into lower 60s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, a few mid and upper level clouds, 72 in Anderson, Veneta 73, 67 in Chanute, Stockton up to about 68. As we go through the evening and the overnight hours on Friday, clouds thicken up. Couple little showers to our west by Saturday morning. Mostly cloudy skies on Saturday, rain increasing to our west. I think a good chunk of our day is going to be dry, but scattered showers and thunderstorms will increase definitely by Saturday evening and Saturday night. This is just kind of the tip of the iceberg of our next storm system. All right, so first off, let's look at our day planner. 44 to start, 62 by noon, high of 70. Let's go into 4-state Friday night high school football, 65 by kickoff, 60 by the fourth quarter. So pretty good weather once again for high school football. And at least we're going to be dry because those rain chances increase late Saturday, Saturday night, and really pick up once we get into Sunday. Periods of showers and thunderstorms. I think because of the clouds and the rain, we're going to be stable enough not to see anything severe. Anything severe should stay down near Oklahoma City. However, on Monday, as the main front moves in, if we can clear out a bit, strong to severe thunderstorms by Monday afternoon. And check this out. Look at our potential rainfall as we go through this next storm system. A lot of areas could pick up 4, 5, 6, maybe isolated 7-inch amounts. All right, 70 on Friday, 68 Saturday, 69 Sunday. Don't forget the clocks drop back 1 hour Saturday night and thunderstorms on Monday. Tanya?
Pittsburgh State football brings a 5-game winning streak into Senior Day this weekend against Central Missouri, who shared the 2023 MIAA championship with the Gorillas.
It all starts with the quarterback. I mean, Zach's a phenomenal player, obviously. I mean, a defending Harlan Hill winner. They lead the country in pass yards per game right now. They lead the country in passing touchdowns. So he is a special player, and he can extend football plays. He presents probably a whole new element than anything we've ever seen up to this point this year.
Yeah, they do a lot of 0-0, 0-1 personnel, go a lot of empty, way more than we've seen this year. So we got to do a good job keeping their quarterback in the pocket and just making our one-on-one plays. They like to get their skill receivers in space and make plays, so we just got to finish our tackles and win our one-on-ones.
Kansas high school football playoffs get started this evening, and quite a few of our local teams are in action, hoping to keep their seasons alive. Riverton football begins its playoff run at home on Halloween night. Rams play host to Eureka. First Riverton drive of the game from a couple yards out. Aiden Witherspoon carries it into the end zone, 6-0 Rams. Eureka's next drive, Peyton Hare rolls out to the right, floats a pass to the corner of the end zone. That's caught by TJ Mills. We're tied at 6. Riverton knows exactly how to respond. On the speed option, Cale Forbes pitches it to Witherspoon. He gets the corner and he gets his second touchdown of the game. Rams up 13-6. Later in the second quarter, down near the goal line again, Witherspoon gets his third touchdown of the game, and he's not finished. Still in the second quarter, 3rd and long. Forbes delivers a screen pass to Witherspoon. He makes a couple guys miss, and what a night for the sophomore running back, Aiden Witherspoon. 4 touchdowns in the first half, but he would leave the game with an injury early third quarter. Rams are able to keep the offense moving. Tyler Ritz takes a handoff on the end around. He scores a touchdown. Riverton holds off a second half surge from Eureka, wins 40-36. Rams move on to regionals next week. It's Halloween night in Oswego. Indians host a playoff game against defending state champion Linden. Opening drive of the contest, Linden strikes first as James Marcotte powers his way into the end zone. Tigers take an early 6-0 lead. On the ensuing kickoff, Hunter Kelly is back deep to return. He lets it bounce in front of him, then picks it up and hands off to Dimitri Williamson. who's got an open lane down the sideline. Nobody's there to stop him. He's gone for a touchdown. Oswego ties this one up at 6 apiece. We head to the second quarter now. Oswego down 18-14. Owen Jackson takes the football, doesn't like what he sees in front of him, so he reverses the other way, finds some open space, and scores the touchdown to give Oswego a 20-18 lead. Later in the second quarter, Indians back to work on offense. Hunter Kelly takes the handoff. He gets by one defender, and he's off to the races. It's another touchdown for Oswego. Wild game all night, but Oswego goes on to win 60-50. Elsewhere in Kansas, over to Class 2A, a couple of our local schools have their season come to a close on the road. Fredonia falls 55-13 to Nemaha Central, who won the state title a year ago. Galena gets shut out by Silver Lake 61-0. Over to Class 1A, no surprise here, Colgan dominates its playoff opener 62-16 over Horton. 8-man Division II, Marmaton Valley trounces Hartford 76-12. Wildcats move on to the next round. Couple more 8-man Division II games. Colony Crest gets upset by Lebo 28-6 at home. St. Paul loses to Burlingame 54-0 on the road. Missouri High School volleyball playoffs enter sectionals this evening. 3 of our local schools all try to punch their ticket to the state quarterfinals. Well, Jasper goes on the road and wins 3-1. This is the Eagles' 33rd win of the season, but just the 3rd time all season anyone has won a single set against them. Jasper advances to the Class 1 quarterfinals on Saturday. Diamond not quite as fortunate. Lady Wildcats season comes to an end with a loss to undefeated Fair Grove in sectionals. Then in Class 3, Mount Vernon takes down Mountain Grove 3-1. Lady Mountaineers move on to the Class 3 state quarterfinals this Saturday. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Well, there's more than binging on candy and horror flicks to help you get into the Halloween spirit. From mummies to murder houses, Fox News' Chris DeMeo takes a closer look at some unique ways to celebrate spooky season.
Halloween season has many folks busy stocking up on candy, pumpkins, and plenty of decorations. But for those seeking a thrill beyond horror films and trick-or-treating, there's a slew of spooky activities to indulge in, from the eerie to the educational.
How people are prepared for death tells you a lot about what society thinks should happen after you die.
Over at Chicago's Field Museum of Natural History, visitors are checking out the mummy exhibits. While mummies are often portrayed as monsters in movies, scientists say that they were real people and should be treated with respect.
It's important for these people to be remembered and to have their names spoken.
Staff have been conducting CAT scans of the remains to learn more about their pasts.
CT scans give us a fuller picture of not just the skeletal remains, but also the tissue, the organs.
But if touring museums isn't your speed this time of year, folks are also flocking to Fall River, Massachusetts to experience the Lizzie Borden House.
So in the early morning hours of August 4th, 1892, Lizzie Borden is accused of killing her father, Andrew Borden, a wealthy banker, and his wife, Lizzie's stepmother.
Lizzie Borden was accused but acquitted of the killings, which involved an axe.
What's really kept it going for so many years is that rhyme the Fall River Herald News made up. Lizzie Borden took an axe. She gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
The unresolved murders have been fueling people's fascination with the supernatural. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Well, many people love a good ghost story, but what's behind the fascination, especially on Halloween? We find out after the break. Twisted tales, scary stories, and things that go bump in the night. What's behind the fascination with fright? Fox's Anna Yiannopoulos explains why we tell scary stories for Halloween.
For centuries, people have been enchanted by ghost stories.
Ghost stories have been around forever, and they really fit well into this season for those historical reasons, but also because we like to be scared.
Ingrid Johnson, an advanced instructor of English at Virginia Tech, says these tales stem from the conflicting origins of Halloween itself, be it the Christian tradition of All Hallows Eve, a time when churches honor saints or other faithfuls who have passed, or the pagan tradition that celebrated the end of harvest. at a time of year when we go from light to dark.
Both of those traditions celebrate the passing of people and death. And so when we look at ghosts and how they fit into Halloween, naturally they do, because we're talking about celebrations of the dead.
Ghost stories started with oral tradition, slowly intertwining with Halloween.
We really get into connecting this time of year and these scary stories really when we're about middle to late 19th century, where we have people like Charles Dickens, who writes A Christmas Carol, and all of these, and ghosts are starting to be everywhere.
This is when people began hosting seances and masquerades, ushering in a tradition of fear this time of year.
In terms of like seeing scary movies or going to haunted houses or reading ghost stories, we can get that feeling and experience that and that rush of adrenaline and all of those things without putting ourselves in harm's way.
But it's not all about being scared. These tales of terror were also a way to teach morality, or even try to explain death.
We're not necessarily scared that ghosts are going to harm us, but what we're scared of is that once we know a ghost or see a ghost or interact with a ghost, we now know something more about death that we can't unknow.
As for why we dress up, some research suggests people started wearing costumes to ward off spirits. In New York, Anna Eliopoulos, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a rowdy river otter family making mischief at the Oregon Zoo. Have a great night, a happy Halloween, and an even better tomorrow.